Hi, I'm Bob Rosenbaum. This is the second of a series of videos that I'm doing to teach Dayan Qigong specifically to meditators. And since my background is mostly Zen, uh, it has particular relevance to them, but I hope it's helpful for any meditator. So last time I went over some of the basic background. Today I want to get into acupressure massage. And I want to start with the acupressure points in the hands. Dayan Qigong works according to the acupuncture channels of traditional Chinese medicine. And we tend to be rather precise about aligning certain points with each other. The complete set of meridians is rather complex, but for our purposes, we're going to concentrate on just a few. And within the hand, the 6 meridians of the hand, 3 yin and 3 yang, 3 yin and 3 yang, are the lung meridian, the large intestine meridian, the pericardium meridian. Pericardium is the sheath which protects the heart. The Sanjiao meridian, and I'll talk about Sanjiao some other video, and the heart and small intestine meridian. A great deal of our nervous system is devoted to our hands. And so working with the hands is a good way of accessing some of the energy flows of our body and mind. The Qigong hand is very open, very relaxed. The fingers are spread. There's no bend in the wrist. And just like if a hose is kinked, the fluids don't travel very well. In the same way, the circulation of our blood and of our qi doesn't flow as well when things are cramped or blocked or bent. And so one way of helping us relearn how to relax the hands is through acupressure massage. We begin with some warm-ups, and we'll do a complete set of warm-ups in another video. But for right now, in terms of the hands, we like to massage the backs of the fingers and into the webbing, and make sure to get the thumb, that's the lung meridian. And I'll explain why we want to get the webbing, but we want to get all 6 channels. So simply doing something like this helps. And the acupuncture channels either begin or terminate at the very tips of the fingers and the toes. So I really like that fact. It reminds me there's no unimportant place in our bodies or minds. Every being is equally important. Every cell is equally important. So we want to make sure to get the tips of the fingers when we do this. So we start a little bit beyond and go like this. You can do that 5 or 10 times. And then we want to stretch the fingers out a bit by going from the center of the palm, stretching each finger back a bit. And then we do the same thing on the other hand. And we do all of this and all the acupressure massage with the tip of the tongue touching, as described in the other video. So during the course of a day, when we get tense, our hands tend to go like this. If we're anxious, if we're angry, what do we do with our hands? And there's all this typing and holding on to things. So if you want to be able to let go, you need to learn how to relax your hands. And it's very hard to feel angry when your hands are fully relaxed. in Zen, we talk about opening the hand of thought. And we can literally do that. We use acupressure massage, and the first point that we use is the Lao Gung. So if you bend your middle two fingers, the Lao Gung is roughly in between the two. It's not quite at the center of the palm, it's just slightly off to one side. But basically, it's close to the center of the palm, and when you massage it like this, you just prop it up against the back of your hand. Usually it feels kind of nice. The Lao Gong is on the pericardium channel, the channel of the sheath which protects your heart. So massaging the Lao Gong helps protect our heart, protect our mind. You can do it on the other side as well. And people will always ask me, well, how should I massage an acupressure point? Do I press hard? Do I tap it? What should I do? And the answer is, for any acupressure point, massage it the way the point wants to be massaged. And that changes from day to day. So you're massaging it not just with your fingers, but with the mind. And you're exploring, learning what's going on in that channel of the body-mind. So the point is not right on the skin, it's down into the body, somewhere in between the palm and the back of the palm. And in fact, there's another acupuncture point on the back of the palm. And so you're learning how to go in there, and on some days, it might want a strong massage. On other days, it might want a very gentle one. Sometimes it might want tapping. You want to have a sense of what feels right for the point on that particular day and time. Sometimes it's painful. And sometimes, if something's painful, massaging and kneading it strongly helps release it. Sometimes, when things are painful, massaging it strongly is going to make it feel worse, and it needs to be very, very gentle. So we massage these with a kind mind, tongue touching, and we start to go within the body-mind. And in fact, after you massage it for just a little bit of time, you might notice that my hand has gotten pinker because the blood is flowing more. Actually, right now, I'm just sending my mind down in there, and you can start to see, perhaps, how the flow of qi and blood goes there as the hand and mind and body all relax. So, enough for the Lao Gong for right now. Let's go to the Hugu point. A lot of people have heard of the Hugu, but it's a very misunderstood point in that people have heard, oh, this point here is good for headaches, but then they massage someplace like in here, and that's not where the point is. If you put your thumb and first finger together and you squeeze a bit, you can see there's this little mound. That mound is the place. Now, before you massage it, I should mention, if you're trying to get pregnant, or if you are pregnant already, you're not supposed to massage this point. It's sometimes used actually to induce labor. So I think it's a good idea to respect the knowledge of several centuries of traditional Chinese medicine and not do that if you're trying to conceive or pregnant. But otherwise, to massage this point, and you can massage it this way, you can massage it from the top, either way. And this one's very often rather tender, very often painful. And So it gives us an opportunity to notice, oh, when something's painful in one part of the body, am I tensing other parts of the body? It's very common to go, oh, oh, and the shoulders go up and the face tenses. And you don't need to raise your shoulders and tense your face if there's a localized sense of pain or discomfort. So learning how to let the rest of the body, mind stay relaxed, even if there's interesting sensations coming from one localized point, is part of the practice. And let's do the other side now. How long to do it for? Oh, it depends. 20 seconds is usually pretty good, usually sufficient. The next point we're going to do is the Neguan and the Waiguan point. So if you put 3 fingers on the crease of your hand, just below that third finger in between the tendons is the Neguan point. This is again on the pericardium channel. So you can see how it connects, goes through here, goes all the way up to the heart. This is a point where people often will put bands or little buttons on to treat nausea, seasickness, motion sickness. You can get the same result simply by massaging. There's also another point on the other side, the Waiguan. What we're mostly concerned with here, though, is the Neguan. It's a really good point for anxiety, depression, tension, nausea. And what I've found is for many, many people, a lot of tension is carried in the forearms. And although they might be more aware of tension in other parts of the body, it often begins in the forearms. And so in order to start opening up the forearms, this is a really good point to massage. And we'll do the other side for a little bit. You can just hold it. You can palpate it and then hold it. And again, you're feeling into the point, getting to know these parts of the body and mind that you might not be familiar with. The last point that I want to cover today is Qigong, that's on the lung channel, and it's in the crook of the elbow. If you simply bend your elbow, and it's not on the outside, that's a different acupuncture point, it's on the inside of the elbow, like that. Now, the reason I'm spending a lot of time on these points is it has very practical effects for when you're meditating and doing the mudra. So I see a lot of people meditating and their shoulders are up, and we mostly know that that's not the best way of meditating and sitting, but often their elbows are in. And the first point on the heart channel is actually right in the center of your axilla, of the armpit. And so if your arms are like this, you're not going to have this sense of nice, relaxed flow. And the wonderful thing about the mudra is it's round. And meditation isn't angular or linear, it's round, like the yin and yang circle, like our lives. And so if you place the one palm on top of the other and you bring the thumbs so they're touching as lightly as possible, and you pull them just very, very, very gently towards yourself, and you let the elbows relax. It's a good way of relaxing your shoulders and under your arms. Well, we bring the thumbs towards us because to study Buddhism is to study the self, yes? That's what Dogen says. And to study the self is to forget the self. So it's also a nice little biofeedback system So if you're meditating and you start to get sleepy and your fingers start to go like this, or you start to get tense and the fingers go like this, or your thoughts start wandering and your fingers. So to just touch as lightly as possible and to learn what is touching like. How do we touch body to mind, self to self? How do we touch the world? So this is a wonderful practice, and simply paying attention to the hands and the arms and letting the hands relax through these points, simply through attention, um, is a wonderful way of practicing and beginning to tap in to the way we are held by the mudra, by the flow of energy. And we say we turn the wheel of the Dharma sometimes, and sometimes the wheel of the Dharma turns us. Same thing in acupressure, same thing in Qigong. Next time, I'll go into some of the acupressure points of the legs and feet so that we can feel more grounded. And the video after that, I'll start to get into the actual movements of the form. Thank you very much.